Welcome to the podcast for Brain and Cortland in the morning on 98.1 K-Hawk.
Shop Macy's VIP sale going on now. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest fall trends from designers that rarely go on sale. And save 15% off skincare, makeup, fragrances, and more. Plus, shop fall specials for even more great deals on top brands at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Country 98.1 K-Hawk. Lies from Morgan Wallen. Good morning. It's Brain and Cortland in on a Monday, and what a start to the work week. One of us just walked into the K-Hawk studios moments ago.
Yeah, like 4 minutes ago. I had a rough start to my morning.
Yeah.
Because I woke up to a phone call from you telling me, why aren't you at work?
Now, I did send a couple of text messages that went unanswered.
But when
earlier.
I'm unconscious.
Well, I thought maybe the ding or the buzzing of your phone might cue you in. But.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. So it's good that you called me. But aren't you so glad I get ready for work the night before?
It was like, I called you. There was no, it rang once, and you're like, oh, my God.
I heard the phone. So I heard it vibrating over and over, and I just knew instantly I must be late for work. I just knew. And this is I can't remember a time that this happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
This might be the first time, but it's indirectly your fault.
No, of course it is. Now, hang on a second. How is you not having your alarm set?
Okay.
My fault.
So normally I never turn my alarm off. I keep it on all the time.
Sure.
Because I have it set Monday through Friday, so it won't go off on the weekends.
Same way.
But we had some extenuating circumstances on Friday where I had to get up a little bit earlier than normal. And so once the first alarm went off, I turned off the second one.
Oh, okay.
And if you can't tell, I am miserable right now with allergies, I'm hoping.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling it the same. I've got so much pressure in my sinuses right now. I'm right there with you.
And I'm also covered in tiny bug bites. So I just didn't even think to check my alarm before I went to bed last night. But the reason that I had an earlier alarm set on Friday was because after your wife dropped you off at work, she came to my house.
She's a bootlegger. She's running alcohol.
No, so as you now know, we had your surprise 50th birthday party on Friday night.
Did you ever?
And your wife dropped off the alcohol at my house early on Friday morning.
As one normally does.
Well, she couldn't just bring it with you when she brought you to the event on Friday night. So
listen, man, we're going to talk about this later on, but
I'm going to tell you, I can't wait to tell you all the stories behind it. Because it's been real hard to keep my mouth shut for 3 weeks. Y'all
did an amazing job because I had no clue. None whatsoever. So, bravo.
Okay. Well, I'm here. Yes. I have caffeine.
You've got caffeine.
I have nothing to eat.
You're going to be hungry.
So I'm going to be hangry at some point, but I got my caffeine. Gosh darn it.
Okay. Well, here's some good news, though. I think I have enough. I brought some steak tips in today. I think I have plenty to share. So you're set.
Okay.
All right.
This morning just turned around.
It's starting to shape up. It's Brain and Cortland on 98.1 K-Hawk. Cedar Rapids #1 for New Country, 98.1 K-Hawk. One bad habit. That's Tim McGraw. Good morning. It's Brain and Cortland in on a Monday. A Monday where we have so many things to talk about, including not one, but two concert announcements. And this is kind of confusing because one's going to happen at 10, and then we have to wait till 11 to make the other one. But we will be giving away tickets to both shows when we announce those.
It's just a lot for a Monday.
It is a lot to take in, right?
I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Two concert announcements, and I just got to work 15 minutes ago.
So we'll do the first one at 10, give away tickets to that show. We'll do the final concert announcement at 11. Give away tickets to that show. I will say the second concert announcement, we have tickets all week long in the first 5 rows.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So today,
everybody in the car.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry. I thought we were Mambo number 5ing it.
Lou Bega, everybody. So 5th row tickets, we'll be giving those away at 11 when we do the announcement. And then for the rest of the week, that'll be our 7-10 contest.
11?
Confused? So were we.
It's just so weird.
I know.
That we're going to have to stay here till 11.
I know.
I mean, we're normally here doing other work, But to do on the air stuff at 11 is weird.
We're going to have to pop back in here and make the announcement. So
okay.
Set your alarms. Get ready for multiple concert announcements this morning from 98.1 K-Hawk. 98.1 K-Hawk, number one for New Country from Luke Bryan. It's One Margarita. Good morning. It's Brain and Cortland. Welcome into a Monday morning.
Hi.
Hope everybody had a great weekend.
I don't know if I can even process this weekend yet.
I know. It was a lot to take in. Friday night was a lot. We'll get to that later on in the show. And then the rest of the weekend, I was like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And so there were a number of things on the streaming services, movies, programs I wanted to check out. I actually watched 2 new programs over the weekend, one a documentary, one an actual movie.
Okay.
First of all, I will start with the movie I watched. And that is the new Brad Pitt, George Clooney movie on Apple TV Plus called Wolves. Wolves, sorry.
I don't know why they did that.
I don't know why they did it either.
It's really irritating. I was hoping there would be a clue as to why they titled it that in the movie.
Yeah, and there really wasn't, other than the fact they were 2 lone wolves working together.
Okay.
Still doesn't explain the improper title.
But maybe, okay, that makes a little more sense, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not together, they're still separate, but they're together.
So all I will tell you about this movie, very well done, by the way. All I will tell you about this movie, is it the greatest crime drama ever produced? No. But there is something that this movie has so much of, and it's all because of Brad Pitt and George Clooney. It's called charisma.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the F word.
No. These 2 guys, I mean, they've done so many films together. They're Hollywood legends. It was just like watching 2 old friends have a great time together. And that was the most fun part about this movie. There are some crazy twists and turns along the way. And the ending of the movie pays homage to a 1969 Western. So I won't give it away. But the ending should be very, very familiar to film buffs.
Well, it's not getting terrible reviews. It's got a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Once again, only an hour and a half long, 90-minute film, entertaining. It just gets going right away. So
you said Apple TV Plus?
Apple TV Plus.
Yeah,
yes.
So I won't be watching.
Well, the only reason I have that is because I have it free with my my cell phone.
Well, good for you.
That's the only reason I watched it. Did you see anything else over the weekend?
I did.
What'd you watch?
And I told you that I had started watching this late last week, but I finally finished it on Saturday.
Okay.
And that is the new documentary series on Netflix called Mr. McMahon. It's all about Vince McMahon and the history of like the WWE. Or the WWF, as it once was called. And I didn't really know the history of wrestling, so I thought it was fascinating. My cousins growing up were super into that. I never really was, but I knew of a lot of the names.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well, one of the guys, I didn't realize Vince McMahon's daughter married Triple H. I met Triple H on an airplane. When I was in 4th grade on the way to Texas.
You have a connection to the world of wrestling after
So
that.
I just thought that was really strange. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the guy I met on an airplane. So anyway, I watched all 6 hours because it's a 6-part docuseries.
Wow.
I had no idea of how controversial he is as a person, but also the organization has been over time. And they had like all of the big wrestlers in the docuseries talking about it.
They got everybody.
They also started filming this docuseries before all of the crushing allegations against Vince McMahon that they are still investigating. So the last part of the docuseries, he declined to be in it because he was going through legal battles, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. So definitely if you're a wrestling fan, I have a friend of mine who loves all things wrestling. He's watching it too. So
I have a friend who's obsessed with wrestling, and I said, "Did you watch it?" He goes, "I've watched it twice already." Wow. And I'm like, "That's 12 hours.
That's a lot."
That's a lot.
Okay.
What was the other thing you watched?
The other documentary I watched is also new on Netflix, and it is called Will and Harper.
Oh yes, it's that Will Ferrell series.
Yes, it's just one doc. It's one episode. It's one movie. It's a documentary.
Okay. I thought it was
it's about
more.
2 hours long, and it's Will Ferrell and his friend Harper Steele. Harper Steele used to be Andrew Steele, who, by the way, born and raised in Iowa City, Iowa.
So random.
Graduated from Iowa and eventually went on to become the head writer on Saturday Night Live.
Ah, okay.
Worked there at the same time Will Ferrell did. They became very good friends. And then in 2020, Andrew Steele transitioned and has now become and is Harper Steele. And so back when Harper was Andrew was known to just take these cross-country journeys, would leave from New York City, drive all the way to L.A., make all these stops in places like Iowa, Oklahoma, all these little dive bars, and he loved it. And now that Andrew is Harper wondered if she could still make that same trip. And so Will Ferrell goes with her, and they go out, and the journey is emotional. It's full of laughter. It's full of tears.
I imagine that it would be funny because of Will Ferrell.
He does add a certain levity to it, but make no mistake, it's a serious movie.
I'll tell you what, though, the preview that popped up when it came up on my feed, the first thing was, "Hi, I'm Will Ferrell, and I'm the greatest actor of all time."
Also,
and I just laughed out loud.
Also, the fact that he just begs Harper to go to a Dunkin' Donuts the entire trip across the country. And at one point he goes, "We haven't done one fun thing this whole trip. I just want to go to Dunkin'."
Oh, my gosh.
And spoiler alert, eventually they do.
Well, good for them.
99% right now on Rotten Tomatoes, so check it out.
Okay, I think I might have to add it.
Check it out. It's Brady and Cortland on 98.1 K-Hawk. Rapids #1 for New Country, 98.1 K-Hawk. And pour me a drink from Post Malone and Blake Shelton. Good morning. It's Brady and Cortland on a Monday. And I can't remember how many weeks, months ago it was, but whenever a conversation starts with, "Hey, Brain, look at this." I'm like, oh, God. But you were showing me something, a mark on the top of your head. Explain.
Yeah, okay. So I think I talked about this months and months and months ago. But I was getting my hair done earlier this summer, and my hairstylist looked at the top of my head and she said, "Hey, I don't want to worry you," which, of course, made me worry immediately. She said, "But there's a spot up here, and I can't figure out what it is." And it was weird that she had said that because just a few days earlier, a friend of mine from the gym said, "Hey, you got something weird on the top of your head." And it was right towards the back of my head, and it was right in the part. And I had no idea it was there. I can't see it.
Sure.
I didn't feel it. It doesn't feel itchy. It doesn't feel raised. So I would have had no idea it was there had people not mentioned it to me. So I made an appointment with a dermatologist, and it took 4 months to get in for that appointment.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate. But Friday morning, I finally went to the dermatologist. And I don't know if you know this about me, Brain, but I'm a hypochondriac.
What? Shut the front door.
So for the past 4 months, I'm like, I have skin cancer. I just know I have it. I had convinced myself because I had looked at a picture of the top of my head and I had just Googled everything you can Google to try to figure out what it was. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be like a new rare type of disease that I have on the top of my head. I go into the dermatologist Friday. She takes one look at the top of my head. She goes, "Yep, that's a mole." And I said, "Excuse me?"
Wow.
She goes, "It's a mole." And I'm like, "What do you mean it's a mole?"
You know,
she
you can chop it up and make guacamole with it.
This made me feel awful. She goes, "Yeah, as you get older, sometimes you develop random moles places."
No, you got a random age mole.
Yeah. Yeah. She said, as time goes on, it'll probably start to raise itself.
Oh.
So I will be able to feel it. But as of right now, it's flat on my scalp. And there's nothing I can do about it.
No, there really isn't. Be happy you're not bald like me, where a new mole on your head is impossible to hide.
Very noticeable.
Very much
yeah.
so. Yeah.
Well, here's my favorite part of the appointment. So I go in and I find out what the copay is. And I'm like, great, can't wait to pay that. And so I go into the room with the nurse, and she said, "Okay, well, you said you had a spot on your head. Would you like us to just check out the spot on your head, or do you want like a full body exam?" And I said, "Well, for the copay I just paid, you're looking at the whole thing."
I didn't know that was an option.
I'm like, you might as well just examine me head to toe because I got to get my money's worth out of this.
Wow.
Luckily, it appears that my skin is okay. So I feel good. I feel a lot better.
It's
like a weight has been lifted.
More than I needed at this hour of the morning. But yeah, I'm glad the thing on your head's okay. So
me too.
Congratulations on having an old age mole.
Thank you so much.
And
I hope to get more over time.
Shout out to the doctor's office who apparently, if you want it all looked at, There you go.
For that copay, you might as well.
Getting my money's worth. Brayden Cortland at K-Hawk. K-Hawk, Ella Langley with Riley Green, and you look like you love me. It's Brayden Cortland. Good morning. And you look like you need an extra $30,000.
Do I? Can you tell?
Well, listen.
Is it the bags under my eyes?
I think that's everybody. I mean, seriously, how many of you listening out there, if we gave you an extra $30,000, you'd be like, you know what, Brayden Cortland, keep it.
I'm good.
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. Stop it. Stop kidding to yourself. You'd take $30,000. You know you would. The cash cow is back again. We've got your first code coming up at around 8:20. Enter it on the K-Hawk app, and that's an entry into winning up to $30,000. It's that easy.
Yeah, it's really not difficult at all, and it doesn't cost you anything. I mean, the app is free, so.
Make sure you have it downloaded. We give you codes from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single weekday. The more you enter, the better your odds of winning.
Do it.
Now. Well, not now. We don't have a code till 8:20. Sorry. The urgency to enter is there. You can't till 8:20, okay? It's Brayden Cortland coming up in about 15 minutes. A big surprise for me on Friday night.
Brayden gets a surprise 50th birthday party. Yeah. And I'm so happy I can finally talk about it because I think it was killing me a little bit.
Yeah. Also, another fun story involving my daughter inadvertently making Jell-O shots. That's on the way at K-Hawk. Cedar Rapids, number one for New Country, 98.1 K-Hawk. That's Jelly Roll. It's Brayden Cortland on a Monday morning. And, this past Friday night, I got into the car with my wife, Holly, and we were going to be going to a supposed birthday party for someone else. And typically we don't go out a lot on Friday nights anymore. We're kind of tired from the week of work. If we end up going out on the weekend, we go out like on a Saturday night. So I was like texting people, I don't think I'll be out very late tonight. Think I'll, we'll stop by for one maybe and call it a night.
Uh-huh.
And so we get to the place where the party was being held, which was the Double Z. And we pull in the parking lot. I noticed there are quite a few cars. I'm like, oh, party must be going on. We must be a little late.
Well, you were definitely a little late.
Yeah, I was late, all right. I was late on a number of different fronts. Because we walk in the door to the Double Z, and the party was not for who I was there to see. It was actually for me. And I don't know if I've ever been so shocked in my entire life.
I am so proud of everybody who knew about this party and didn't say anything. Especially myself, because I don't think you understand how hard it is to keep a secret from the person who sits across from you.
Yes.
As I'm in a group chat with James and your wife for 3 weeks, just planning this party as I'm sitting across from you and I can't say anything. It killed me inside a little bit.
You did a great job, and Holly did a great job of not letting up or letting me know that anything was going on or being planned.
Also, shout out to your daughter who had to get bribed to not tell you with a pair of Lululemon leggings.
Yeah, that wasn't cheap. Sometimes you got to pay to keep the secret going. So she got this inadvertently go to the house the night that the Jell-O shots were being made.
Yes, yep. I was well aware of that.
Uh-huh.
And it's so funny because the next day at work you're telling me, oh yeah, Holly had to go visit a sick relative and Carly went with her last night. And I was like, oh, is that what they were doing? Because at 8:30 p.m., somebody knocked on my door and I looked out the peephole and it was your daughter holding a tray of Jell-O shots.
Now let me just, this might not sound great. However, yeah,
she was just helping to transport them.
And by the way, they did stop and see the relative before they made the Jell-O shots.
Oh, okay.
I'd just like to throw that out there. But anyway, we got together at the Double Z, and so you guys had planned to get together. There were a bunch of friends and folks there. Shout out to James Larson over at the Double Z as well, and for hosting and then that obviously wasn't the only thing that you guys had planned.
No, we also had a party bus.
Oh, sweet Lord.
And a lot of the people who came to the first part of the party did not want to take the party bus, which was disappointing. But I do want to give a shout out to Let's Go Party Bus.
Yeah.
Because they were able to book us with like only 3 weeks notice.
Well, and they treated us very well.
Yes, they were. And the bus is really nice,
it's
too.
Very cool.
It's really nice. So thank you to them for accommodating us kind of last minute. That's why we planned your party on a Friday, because we figured it's wedding season. we only have 3 weeks until this party. There's no way we're going to find a party bus on a Saturday night.
So, yes, there were some people that followed the party bus to a few different stops.
We went to Chrome Horse the last weekend that they were open.
That was cool that we got to go down there and see everybody.
We went to Marion.
Yes, we did.
We ended up going to Hazard at one point.
Yes.
Where a friend of mine who also works there sent me a text yesterday with a big 5 balloon that's stuck in the rafters of the ceiling. I wonder where that came from.
Oh, my gosh.
And then we were supposed to end the night at karaoke, but at around 11:15, everybody got off the bus and nobody got back.
Everybody was like, the wheels on the bus were no longer spinning around. Other things were spinning for some people.
3 of us ended up taking the bus to Blind Pig to go do karaoke by ourselves. 3 of us on a party bus.
Nachos would have really hit home.
They didn't have any nachos on their late night menu, but we did get mac and cheese bites and a giant soft pretzel with beer cheese. So, listen, I woke up Saturday morning feeling as tired as I've felt in a long time. Now, I will say this. I was not hungover. I had no headache on Saturday morning. I think that's for you.
I think that's pretty good for an almost 50-year-old, given the amount of shots I had thrown down my throat on Friday night.
Yes. I witnessed 2 things on Friday that I had never seen from you before. Okay. Number 1 was some dance moves to the song Pony.
Okay, they weren't
that
great.
I had never.
They weren't great.
You're lucky I don't have any video of this because I was the one playing the music, so I couldn't take any videos myself.
That worked out well.
The other thing was I saw you smoke a cigarette on Friday night, I have never in my life seen you smoke a cigarette.
There is a certain level of drinking that has to occur for me to ask someone, hey.
I didn't know who you were.
Can I bum a smoke?
I'm like, that's not Brain.
It was a different person on Friday night for just a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was your 50th birthday, so I'm going to give you a pass.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's not like I'm stopping by the gas station on the way home and buying a pack of smokes. I'm going to be okay. And I had to assure my daughter of that, too, because she's like, Dad, I heard you were smoking. And I go, it's okay.
She's concerned for you.
I know she is. I know. She saw the amount of vodka that were in the Jell-O shots. She should be concerned.
There was not a lot of Jell-O in the Jell-O shots, I will say.
No, mainly for coloring. Those were strong, man.
Yeah, I think your wife went a little overboard on those. Those Jell-O shots have been in my fridge, by the way, for like 4 days leading up to the party.
They were nicely chilled.
All the decorations were at my house for like 2 weeks. I just had giant 50 birthday balloons in my spare bedroom the entire time my mom was visiting.
It was just a lot of fun, and I expressed my gratitude to you guys that night, and I express it now to anybody who was involved in planning, who kept the secret. It was a lot of fun. My birthday isn't actually until a week from today.
Yes.
And a lot of people reach out over the weekend. They're like, I didn't know it was your birthday. I said, well,
it's
no,
not.
We just celebrated early because...
We celebrated early, A, because it was more convenient, but B, we figured it would be more of a surprise.
And it was.
And I knew I wasn't going to be here this coming weekend.
You're going to be gone on my birthday anyway. So anyway, shout out to everybody who went, made it happen, hosted, drove me home, woke me up, gave me a cigarette when I bum one off you. I owe you.
God.
So, you only turned 50 once, right?
Well, I mean, technically, you're kind of going to turn 50 twice.
No, well, this ain't happening next week. Are you kidding me? I cannot. My body cannot handle the events that transpired on Friday night anymore. That's also another part of turning 50. It's Braden Cortland at K-Hawk. Cedar Rapids, #1 for New Country, 98.1 K-Hawk. It's Keith Urban and Somebody Like You. Good morning. It's Braden Cortland. So, listen, we will be doing contesting at this point in our show the rest of the week. But today is a little bit unusual because we have not 1 but 2 concert announcements that we're going to be making a little later on this morning.
Yeah, and we figured it would be better to give away the tickets to the show once you know what the show is.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a little more sense. Although we have done it the opposite way before.
We have, and I'm sure people would be happy with what they won, but we just figured we would hold off.
Okay, so the tickets that we're going to be giving away at this time, Tuesday through Friday, are going to be tickets in the first 5 rows for the show that we're announcing at 11 a.m. this morning, okay?
11 a.m. That show is the one we're giving away tickets to at 7:10.
That's correct. Okay, and so when we announce this at 11, we'll give away 5th row tickets.
Okay.
Right away. Boom. Someone's in the first 5 rows.
But then we also have another announcement coming at 10 a.m.
Yes. And we'll give away a pair of tickets to that show as well.
So basically, you're going to get to hear us for more than an hour longer than you normally do today.
Oh, what a treat you're in for, folks.
At least we're giving stuff away.
That's
though.
right. At least if you have to hear us pop on the radio, you're like, well, at least give us something. And we will. Concert news and tickets. We guarantee you'll like it. First announcement at 10 a.m. and then the second one at 11. Not bad for a Monday, huh?
No.
It's Brady Cortland on 98.1 K-Hawk. Cedar Rapids #1 for New Country, 98.1 K-Hawk. And where it's at from Dustin Lynch. Good morning. It's Brady Cortland. Where is it at? It's right here. It's a Good Vibes Monday. Talking about the good things, fun things going on in your life. Hopefully you've got some things to talk about. You can call us. You can post them on our Facebook page. You can message us on the K-Hawk app.
Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, baby news.
Perhaps you'd like to share all of that with us.
We don't care what it is as long as it's positive.
So I shared mine last hour. We talked about how Cortland, my wife, and some friends got together and surprised me with a 50th birthday party on Friday. A ton of fun. Party bus. Shots.
Everybody.
It was a fun night. And I had a good enough time where I had a great time, but still remember everything.
And you didn't get gout.
Knock on wood. I'm taking those meds, baby. I'm fighting off the gout.
Good for you.
And also, it's my wife and I's 25th wedding anniversary this week. Coming up on October 2nd. So.
Yeah, you are actually off on Thursday and Friday this week.
I am, yes. So, don't know what we're doing. But, hey, we've been singing that for the last 25 years. So what about you? What's happening? What's going on? What's good?
Well, I actually get to leave Friday to drive back to Michigan to go to a wedding.
Yeah.
The wedding for the bachelorette party that I was just at last month. So.
Are you excited? Are you looking forward to this?
Yes, I am. I get to drive right to downtown Detroit where the wedding is, check into a hotel. I'm going to be there for 2 nights. So I'm going to be there Friday night, but I'm not even going to get to see my mom until Sunday afternoon.
Oh, wow.
And the cool thing about this wedding is we have the wedding and the reception in the same venue.
It's really nice.
And then as soon as the reception is officially over, we go across the street where we are having an emo night at the bar across the street.
Oh, my God.
And this is going to be cool because it's going to be a bunch of radio people from other markets that my friends who are both in radio, who do morning radio, have worked with. So I'm going to get to meet a whole bunch of radio people from all over. I'm excited.
You'll be networking all while listening to emo music. It's your wildest dream come true.
Well, let me tell you, when you get a group of radio people together and there's an open bar.
Oh my God.
Things get a little crazy.
I can attest to that. All right, so those are some of the things we're talking about and what we're happy about on a Good Vibes Monday. Now it's your turn to tell us.
Your turn.
Your turn to tell us. Or torn. If you're torn to tell whether or not to tell us, don't be torn. Don't be Natalie and Brulia. Don't be torn. 365-3698 or hit the call us button using your 98.1 K-Hawk
Love
app.
the obscure 90s reference.
I bet somebody out there other than you got it. And if one person did, then that's also my good vibes. It's Brady Cortland on 98.1 K-Hawk. Cedar Rapids, Brady Cortland with you on a Good Vibes Monday, celebrating the good things going on. And a lot of you are chiming in today. We love to see it, whether it's on the app or Colton says tomorrow is my wife and I's 3rd wedding anniversary.
Oh.
Congratulations, Colton. Way to go.
Lucky number 3.
Yeah.
We also have some comments rolling in on Facebook. Mindy said my daughter had homecoming this weekend. Posted a photo with her.
A lot of folks celebrating that.
Absolutely.
And hey, let's go to the phones here. Grandma's traveling. Where are you going?
I am going to Washington, D.C. for a month to see my grandson.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I love that.
I only see him about once a year, maybe twice.
Boy.
So every time I go out there now, I extend it a week. So I'm up to a month.
Yeah, Grandma's going to see her grandson in Washington, D.C. That'll be awesome. Enjoy the time out there.
Well, speaking of Grandma, Timothy on Facebook said my youngest got to harvest some beans with Grandpa this weekend.
That's awesome.
Posted a photo of him in his overalls.
Also, Brittany on Cedar Rapids posted it was the home opener for hockey season. I saw the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders were in action over the weekend, so it's already that time of year as well. So,
By the way, Brittany not on Cedar Rapids. She's in Cedar Rapids.
sorry. Sorry about that, Brittany. Hey, Hawk, it's Brady and Cortland. It's a Good Vibes Monday. We want to talk about the good things going on in your life. Thanks so much for sharing those with us via the K-Hawk app or by giving us a call this morning, including this call from a member of our law enforcement community.
I love my job. I work at the sheriff's office, and there are times where we're voluntarily told that we have to work extra. It's called force. And so I work usually 6 a.m. to 2 every day. Well, today I got to come in at 10 p.m. tonight, and I got to work till 2 p.m. today. So it's a 16-hour shift.
Fun.
So I just added 8 hours. So I called I text messaged all my friends from Antioch, my group, and I just asked them to pray for me to help me keep alert for the whole night. And it's just so cool to have answer prayer and people that just really care about you, that are just wanting the very, very best for you. So It's a great Vibes Monday. I love what I do, and I love the people I get to have life with.
That's a pretty cool call.
That was amazing.
So thank you for everything that you do.
So much positivity there.
Yeah. And
he
that's
said,
really,
I got to work.
I got
He didn't
to
say
work.
I had to work.
That's
he said
right.
I got to work.
Yeah, he chose his words very carefully. I like that. And that's what positivity is, what a Good Vibes Monday is all about. We want to share that with you. Kim from Springville said, today's my last day of work. I'm retiring. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, Kim.
All right, where's the happy hour, Kim?
Yeah, where are we meeting at? If you have something to share on a Good Vibes Monday, please give us a call, 365-3698. Or hit the call us button on the K-Hawk app. You can message us there. Leave your comments on our It's number one for New Country, 98.1 K-Hawk, and what my world spins around. That's Jordan Davis. It's Brady and Cortland on a Good Vibes Monday.
Sharing some of the good stuff going on in your life. And there's lots of different ways to reach out to us, including on Facebook. Trent said, today is my first day at a new job after searching for 6 months.
Oh, man. Well, congratulations on the new gig and hope it goes really well.
And shout out to Carrie, who said, I took my daughter to meet Princess Belle this weekend and posted a photo of her daughter with Belle in their matching dresses.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's so cute.
Oh, I remember that princess phase, man. Enjoy those days.
They're far over at your home.
Oh, my God. Now they're buying homecoming dresses, different kinds of dresses. Let's go to the phones now. I think we got birthday news.
I have my birthday on Friday.
Your birthday's on Friday? How old are you going to be?
I'm going to be 12.
12. It's a great age to be. And what's your name?
Hunter.
Well, Hunter, happy 12th birthday a little early, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. Happy 12th to Hunter on Friday.
That's an exciting age. 1 year away from being a teenager.
Oh, my
dun, dun,
gosh.
dun.
Oh,
we also
my
got a
gosh.
great photo from Kelsey on Facebook, who said, I went to the Dylan Scott concert on Friday, the Rough Riders home opener on Saturday, and had my boyfriend's golden birthday on Sunday.
Well, that, my friend, is a full weekend.
Yes, it is.
You are living life right there. Hey, thanks for all the calls and comments. If you want to share something with us, feel free to message us anytime on the K-Hawk app or hit us up on Facebook. We love to see your pictures and posts. It's a Good Vibes Monday. Brady and Cortland on 98.1 K-Hawk.
Here's today's country music news of the day. It's Brady and Cortland's Country Quickies on 98.1 K-Hawk.
Well, we're leading off, of course, with the sad news from the world of country music and just music in general. That legend Chris Christopherson passed away over the weekend. Passed away peacefully at his home on Saturday in Hawaii, surrounded by family and friends. Chris Christopherson was 88 years old, and he was not only an amazing singer and songwriter, but just an amazing person. He was a Rhodes Scholar, attended the University of Oxford, where he excelled at boxing and rugby. He became a rank of captain in the U.S. Army, completed Ranger School, was a helicopter pilot, and that would come in handy when he pitched Johnny Cash his song Sunday Morning Comin' Down when he landed a helicopter on Johnny's front lawn. That's a true story.
Wow.
He wrote songs including Me and Bobby McGee, For the Good Times, Help Me Make It Through the Night, and countless others. Of course, he was also an accomplished actor. He was in hundreds of TV shows and movies. Maybe that's how you knew Chris Christopherson. Maybe you saw him in Blade and you're like, God, that guy looks familiar. He was a member of the Highwaymen along with Willie, Waylon, and Johnny. Chris Christopherson.
He did everything.
He absolutely did everything. And if you haven't experienced his musical catalog and just researched him as a person, I implore you to. Chris Christopherson is an American legend. Gone at the age of 88.
Okay, so we were just a week away from the inaugural Field and Stream Music Festival, which was announced earlier this year. Eric Church and Morgan Wallen were putting it on, but unfortunately, Mother Nature decided to change plans. Hurricane Helene ripped through the Carolinas and caused unprecedented devastation this weekend, and unfortunately, that destruction has forced the music festival to postpone their event. They announced this weekend after assessing the damage, and it was determined that there was no way to move forward safely. They also said, quote, while we are deeply disappointed, the safety of our fans, sponsored staff, and crew remains our highest priority. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected by the storm. In support of recovery efforts, festival equipment like restroom trailers, generators, and food supplies will be redirected to assist FEMA and emergency services.
Awesome. That's great news.
So now the first annual event will take place next year.
Okay. Well, listen, sometimes Mother Nature has other plans. Another star responding to the devastation of Hurricane Helene, and that would be country music's Luke Combs, a native of Asheville, North Carolina. He's stepping up to help. We're not quite sure how yet, but Luke did post this on social media. He said, quote, absolutely heartbroken for everyone impacted by Hurricane Helene, especially my folks in Western North Carolina. My team and I have been making some calls, and I think we've got something really special lined up to help the Carolinas as much as we can. More details to come ASAP. So it sounds like Luke is organizing some sort of hurricane relief effort, especially for the Carolinas. Not that Florida and other spots weren't also hit by Helene, but they say the devastation in the Carolinas is quote-unquote biblical, and they haven't seen it since the 1916s.
Wow.
The 1916 time frame. So shout out in our prayers to everybody in the Carolinas and anybody affected by Hurricane Helene.
So we just had a bunch of bad news, but we do have some good news.
Let's leave it off with that.
It was an amazing weekend for Jelly Roll. After selling out Madison Square Garden and then performing in Central Park, he made his way over to Saturday Night Live to serve as the show's musical guest for the season 50 premiere. First, he performed Liar, which is the second single from his upcoming album, Beautifully Broken. But then he also performed a brand new song that nobody's heard before called Winning Streak. And here is what that one sounds like.
Through these doors on a winning streak.
And there's like a choir in the background.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm like tearing up just hearing that one clip. Like, holy cow. Also, the story behind this is pretty incredible. He was talking about how this was inspired by an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting that he attended. And he said, quote, so I just sit and watch, and this kid, he's going through it. You can tell. One of the old men sitting in there was like, look, man, it's all good. Nobody came in here on a winning streak. There it was. That was the beginning of Winning Streak.
Man, I'll tell you what.
I can't listen to that song. I think it would affect me too much.
I know, and I know why, but just... How great is it that Jelly Roll is on such an amazing streak, and his music has such purpose.
It's so powerful.
It has such purpose to it.
I have no time for anybody who has anything bad to say about Jelly Roll.
None. Don't bother.
Until you start doing some of the stuff that he's doing to better the world, I don't want to hear it.
Those are your country quickies this morning. By the way, video of Jelly Roll and singing that song, it's up online, so check it out. Brandon Cortland on 98.1 K-Hawk. On a Monday morning. And you went to Adventureland theme park on Saturday, correct?
Yes, I did.
Now, you've been to Adventureland already this year. Why did you go back? What's going on there?
Well, they have their Phantom Fall Fest that officially kicked off, not this past weekend, but the weekend before.
Okay.
And so we got invited to this fun little kickoff event through the radio station. They had like a VIP party ahead of all of the spooky stuff happening, because on Saturdays and Sundays, the park is open early, but they don't do the haunted houses and the scare zones until 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And so we went to like this little pre-party, and they served us some of the food, including mac and cheese that looked like blood. Like it was red mac and cheese.
How did that look?
It looked weird, but it tasted good.
Okay. All right. You're braver than I am.
Yeah. And then we also got like some pumpkin spice mini donuts and orange and black Dippin' Dots and that sort of thing. So it was a fun little event, but we were mostly excited to kind of check out some of the spookier areas of the park.
Okay.
And I will say this, the coolest part of Phantom Fall Fest is right around 5:55. All of Main Street is cleared and you can stand on the sidewalk and all of the people in their costumes, all of the staff come down Main Street with all the smoke machines going off.
Man. Yeah, that is cool.
It's almost like a little parade of everybody going to their designated areas of the park. And it was really fun. Like the makeup and the costumes, so good. And so basically there's 4 haunted houses and there's 4 scare zones.
Okay.
And the scare zones are just areas that you can walk through in the park to get to other places. They're not as scary as the haunted houses are.
Sure.
But I will say, if you are going to do this, I would get there nice and early because the lines for the haunted houses, people were lined up before 6 o'clock hit. And we were going to get in line for one of the haunted houses, and it was like an hour long.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't go through any of the haunted houses. We decided since the ride lines were way shorter,
you were gonna do
that
the
we
rides.
were going to try to ride as many rides as possible.
I mean, that's not a horrible thing either.
No, it wasn't. And they had like some cool Phantom Fall Fest shirts that you can buy. And it was really cool. You know how much I love Halloween. So I like going to see all of the ways that they get festive with it and they get really into it.
Well, and I like the fact that Adventureland does this too because, summer is over.
Keeps the park open a little longer.
Yeah, it's something fun that they can do. It's another reason to head to Adventureland, and maybe you would kind of not thought about heading there as it gets set to close when the weather gets colder.
During the day, too, they have all sorts of fun activities for kids, like little contests, costume contests each day and all that stuff. So there is less scary stuff to do for the family during the day.
Sure. So now how long does Phantom Fall Fest run?
I believe it runs until the last weekend in October.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then they also have a couple of Fridays where they're going to be open, but the hours are much shorter on Fridays because it's just Friday night.
Sure.
So yeah, if you want more details on the event, we've got everything over on the K-Hawk app. The only thing I will say is cover up. Because they had these little black bugs.
They're everywhere right now.
They're teeny tiny. And you don't feel them land on you, but you feel the bite. And so within 24 hours, my arms and legs are now covered in these bites. And it is unbearably itchy.
Well, maybe if you hadn't eaten so much bloody mac and cheese, they wouldn't have attacked
my
you.
bad.
That's got to be it, right? Well, it's cool. Yes. Once again, it's called Phantom Fall Fest going on weekends at Adventureland Theme Park in Altoona.
And you get to ride all the rides still. So it's like, even if you don't like the scary stuff, there's other stuff to do.
But if you do like the scary stuff,
yeah, it's
plenty
pretty
to check
awesome.
out. It's Brady and Cortland on 98.1 K-Hawk. Country 98.1 K-Hawk. In between from Scotty McCreary, it's Brady and Cortland. And K-Hawk has your chance to win big once again with the Iowa Lottery as Sloppy Joe giving away lottery tickets every weekday afternoon. 12 of the Iowa Lottery Cyclone Scratch tickets. And top prize on that, $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty nice.
You can also win game day experiences, including a trip to Ireland next season to see the Cyclones kick off the college football season.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yes. If Cortland were to win that prize, she would give away the tickets and just traverse the landscape, which is fine. So 12 tickets every weekday afternoon, 4:40. Sloppy Joe's playing a game called Dead or Alive.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. It's kind of self-explanatory if you think about it. Your chance to play this afternoon coming up at 4:40. And you could be winning big with the Iowa Lottery at 98.1 K-Hawk. Cedar Rapids, #1 for New Country, 98.1 K-Hawk. Pour Me a Drink from Post Malone and Blake Shelton. It's Brady and Cortland. Good morning. I bummed a smoke off several people over the weekend.
Yeah.
I lived to that song this weekend.
I don't know who you are anymore.
Oh.
Nothing to say to that?
Some days I don't either. Some days. Okay, I want to talk about this. First of all, let's give folks the cash cow
let's
code
do that.
This hour. They're like, Brady and Cortland, banter later. $30,000 is on the line.
I get it.
Your code this hour is 877.
877.
Enter that code right now on the K-Hawk app. It could be the one that wins you $30,000. You can thank us later. We'll call you. We'll go out for lunch. We'll have a great time.
It'll be a party.
So as I approach my 50th birthday, which, by the way, is a week from today, and if you missed later or earlier on the show, Cortland talked about how she and my wife Holly and some other folks have been involved in, and they threw me a surprise party on Friday night. It was a ton of fun. And so I woke up Saturday morning, and I was just like, okay, this is pretty rough.
Not the roughest you've ever felt, though.
No, not the worst I've ever had. But, you know, when you reach a certain age, when you hit a certain number, you start realizing and you start thinking about the way that you are conducting and living your life. Because when I was in the midst of Friday night having
Just
a great time.
Makes you rethink all of your choices.
Well, sometimes. But in the midst of Friday night, you know, we're slinging drinks. We're doing shots. I'm bumming smokes. I don't even know who I am anymore. And I'm like, could I live like this?
No, there's no way.
No, you just can't. You can't go back and relive your 20s or early 30s.
Once in a while, I think it's okay if you're willing to deal with the consequences the next morning, possibly 2 mornings.
You're possibly just blowing an entire weekend. Yeah. And so then I think on the other end of the spectrum, I think to myself, oh, self, I don't know if I ever want to feel like that again. So do I just completely stop doing some of those activities? And I've come to the realization that at my particular age, I don't want to have to stop doing that kind of stuff. Maybe, you know.
You don't do it hardly ever.
No, I certainly not a night like that.
No.
Where we're on a party bus and we're hitting up different bars all night.
But you guys were still done by 11:15. You didn't even make it to midnight.
Listen, I made it to midnight Eastern Standard Time. It was midnight in New York, Cortland. Isn't that enough?
Oh, my goodness.
So once again, yeah. So you reach a certain age and you're just like, man, even though that kind of stuff is fun, you know what else is also really fun?
Being able to wake up without a hangover?
That and just not having plans. When you get older, that is almost better than having plans. But what's even better than all that is surprise plans. So thank you once again for Friday night, because it was a ton of fun with some really cool people. It's Brain and Cortland on 98.1 K-Hawk. Cedar Rapids #1 for New Country, 98.1 K-Hawk. Such a great song from Carly Pierce. Truck on Fire. Brain and Cortland wrapping it up here on a Monday morning.
It's kind of like the new Before He Cheats.
It is. It's an updated, up-tempo version of that song, and I'm all about it.
I'm just thrilled that I made it into work this morning with 5 minutes to spare, and that our show wasn't a total disaster.
Okay. In our mind, it wasn't anyway. In our mind, it wasn't. So, for those of you who didn't hear, the 5 o'clock hour started a little later than normal for Cortland today. Got here right on time. Listen,
Brain called me at 4:50 and it woke me up.
You didn't miss a single thing, though.
I didn't.
You didn't miss a break.
I don't know how that happened, but I really just leapt out of bed and became a new person.
I'm not sure either, because I sat in here and I'm like, well, Brain,
will she make it for the first break?
I guess we'll be doing this on our own for just a bit, but no.
You should have called me a little earlier.
Oh, now you're blaming me for being late for work. Give me a break. Give me a break. Come on, man.
I mean, one time in 10 years.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I can't do that the later part of this week, though, when you're not here, because there's nobody to wake
I would prefer you did not do that on Thursday and Friday.
I've already returned on the alarm, so we're good.
All right. Hey, don't forget, we are sticking around because we have concert announcements.
At 10 and then again at 11.
Okay.
So 2 announcements. And then we're also giving away tickets with both announcements.
Yeah, you're going to want to hear them. You're going to want to win tickets to both of them. We guarantee it. Your first one coming up at 10. All right, dad joke on a Monday.
Hey, Brain, what's the best book to read in the fall?
The best book to read in the fall? I don't know.
Lord of the Rings.
Did you say Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
My precious. Filthy hobbit took my pumpkin.
Wow.
Huh? Come on.
I don't know what to say to you.
A little bonus Gollum for you this morning? Gollum.
All right, on that note.
All right, stay tuned for concert news at 10. Have a great day. Have a great Monday. Enjoy the concert news we got coming up for you at K-Hawk.
Shop Macy's VIP sale, going on now. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest fall trends from designers that rarely go on sale. And save 15% off skincare, makeup, fragrances, and more. Plus, shop fall specials for even more great deals on top brands at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.